Hi, I'm John from Just Whiskey. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. And thanks so much for the Patreons that I do have that help financially support this channel. And remember, folks, it's just whiskey. Today we're going to be talking about and reviewing the M&H, formerly known as Milk and Honey, Israeli distillery. This is their pomegranate wine cask, okay? And it's 3 years old. It comes in at 60.3% ABV, retails for about $85 in my area. And this is batch 2, okay? I absolutely love pomegranates. I have ever since I was a little kid. A lot of people say they're too much work, but not me. Same thing with picking crabs. I love picking crabs. So I was really intrigued because this is the only distillery that has come out with a pomegranate wine finished spirit. So I'm just going to read a little bit on the front of the bottle. It's natural color, non-chill filtered, cask strength. I believe it's cask strength. 60.3% ABV. Actually, it might not be cask strength, but it's 60.3% ABV. And this was bottled on July 13th, distilled on July 13th, 2017, and bottled on October 11th, 2020. And it's 3 years of age, 2.5 years matured in Tel Aviv for 2.5 years in ex-bourbon, and then the last 6 months is finished in the pomegranate wine casks. This is this batch 2 is one of 1,912 bottles. So one of 1912. And this is a 750 milliliter bottle. It's a very fancy bottle with some etching going on in here. Okay, so they put some thought and money into the bottle and the packaging. This is also kosher, okay? And this is distilled, matured, produced, and bottled in Tel Aviv, Israel. The packaging is very snazzy, fancy packaging that has it opens up with a little cork holder in there and bottle holder in the top there. And it's got like a little magnetic case on there. So they spent some money on the packaging. And I'm going to read the inside because something that was intriguing to me. This small batch single malt whiskey was aged in ex-bourbon casks and finished in fortified style pomegranate wine casks for a period of 6 months. The unique pomegranate fruit offers this whiskey its exceptional flavors. And then they go into smelling and tasting notes. I got some of their smelling and tasting notes, but not all of them. I'm not going to read them. But I do want to focus on, it does say, finished in fortified style pomegranate wine casks. I don't really know what that means because it says it there as a fortified style, okay? But on the outside of the box, it says Apex pomegranate wine cask, and on the front label here it says pomegranate wine cask. It doesn't say fortified style, okay, except in the inside sleeve of this box here. So if anybody knows what fortified style is, I'd be interested to know. Okay, yeah, let's get into the nosing and tasting of this. Okay. I've spent some time with this, okay, with and without water. It does swim very well with water at 60.3% ABV. You can understand why. You could add to a normal sized dram. In my opinion, you could easily add a tablespoon of water. Okay, it swims very well, and it might smooth out some of those rough edges, which we're going to get to. Okay, on the nose. If you put this in a blind and ask me what I'm getting this, I would be very hard pressed, and I think a lot of people would be hard pressed to say, "Oh, that's pomegranate wine," or "That's pomegranate." Okay, so finally on the nose, I'm getting. If also in a blind, if you told me this was an Irish whiskey with a wine finish, I would believe you. On the nose, it smells like an Irish whiskey. Also has smells a little bit rummy as well. Okay, it's hot, it's spirity, nose hair tingling, a bit of acetone, a slight bit of acetone. Okay, it's not a dominant, but there is a note of it there. So the youth is present in this. You're definitely getting that vanilla from the ex-bourbon, a little mustiness, earthiness, and maybe even a little bit of incense. And also there's definitely a cola note on this as well. Okay, so there's a lot going on, but the main thing, if quickly somebody gave this to you and say, you might even say, hey, this is an Irish rum finished wine cask, kind of a thing going on. Okay, on the palate. It's a bit hot, spirity, and a bit of that ethanol, that youthful ethanol note is there. It's oily. It's viscous. And it's got a slight sweetness to it with a wine fruitiness. I'd be hard pressed to say that, oh yeah, it's pomegranate. But pomegranate, you're eating those seeds, and the pomegranate seeds, which is, let's call it the fruit, is sweet and a little tangy as well. So you're definitely getting that in there, okay? The finish I would describe as medium to long. The heat does stay with you. Again, and a little bit of saltiness lingers on the tongue. And again, if someone told me this was a Irish whiskey finished in ex-rum casks and ex-red wine casks, that's kind of how I would describe this. Yeah, it does swim well. I also want to recommend that you watch Whiskey Jason's review of this, because he did a very good review on this, but he also referenced it to a sample he had of batch 1. Okay, and he described batch 1 as much different than this. And what I was expecting was his description of batch 1, which was very syrupy and sweet and fruity and thick. And this kind of parallels with his review in that he thought batch 1 was performed better than batch 2. I was expecting that. Oh my God, this is a pomegranate, sweet, syrupy, fruity kind of a thing going on. So it didn't quite meet my expectations. For my enjoyment level, I'm going to score this between an 84 and an 85. It's an $5 3-year-old finished single malt from Israel. I do recommend adding water to this. I think that will bring up the enjoyment level a little bit. But yeah, I'm comfortable with the 84, 85. Am I glad I bought it? I'm not so sure, but I had to buy it because I was just so intrigued by the pomegranate uniqueness of this. So in that regard, I'm just going to keep this, and over time, every now and then, I'll just kind of dip into it and see where it goes. But that's my review on the Apex M&H Pomegranate Batch 2 wine finished. Yeah. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. And remember, folks, it's just whiskey. So hats off to you all, and take care, folks.